Welcome, Kalyan. We are very honored to have you today on our live session of the Alumni Testimonial campaign. And firstly, thank you so much for doing this on a Saturday. We really appreciate it. So, how are you doing?
I'm good. In fact, yes, it's being a Saturday and a busy Saturday indeed. And it gives me immense pleasure to get back and revisit those memories that I have cherished while pursuing my LLM. And when you asked me for the first time that we wanted to have a testimonial, I said, okay, let's do it because that gives me a retrospective sight into like how I cherished my LLM days. So it's been pleasure, and I'm doing great. Let's start.
Okay, great. So, to whoever is watching us right now, I'm very sure that you're going to get inspired by the end of this live session. So, stay tuned, and Kalyan is going to answer all the queries and questions that you might have. So, let's begin. So, Kalyan, why don't you tell us a little about your professional background first?
Okay,
So, just introduce yourself, who you are, and everything.
wonderful. So to start with, I started my career as a trainer, so training students for GRE, GMAT, SAT after completing my graduation in engineering, and this happened in 2010. And from my career being a trainer, I grew up the ladder to become a senior training manager, and then became academic head. And I worked with companies like Princeton Review, Manhattan Review, Career Launcher, IMS Learning Resources. Everything is into education management industry basically. And then after pursuing my masters in engineering, I have completed masters in engineering in embedded systems, for you to know. And I have started training students for ARM7 microcontrollers and basically technical trainings. And then further in 2016, when I was working with IMS Learning Resources, is the time where I pursued my LLB. So it's like a a paradigm shift in terms of my educational journey, I would say. Right. So what intrigued me to pursue law is the subject as in it has that zeal, right, the drive that one can possess. And uh, in 2016 I pursued my LLB. And while pursuing my LLB, I also started working with ByteDance, which is master company of TikTok, and I worked as a global operations manager. And in during COVID times, due to the Chinese apps being banned in India, so the company has to move its operations out of India. So then I shifted to an academy. And while working with an academy or while working with ByteDance, I pursued my LLM masters in law from OP Jindal through upGrad, right? So upGrad helped me out to get this blended learning program. And it actually eased my learning process because I was in a heavy work job role. Like I was working as a senior manager with an academy where the work starts as early as 10 and ends as late as 11. So during this tight schedules and Saturdays, Sundays, sometimes I would be occupied. So it was really difficult in order to pursue your academic uh, ladder, right? So upgrad helped or eased this with this blended learning program with OP Jindal, with the brand of OP Jindal and the essence of upgrad blended together, I would say. Helped me to pursue my masters in LLM, corporate and finance. And currently I'm working with ISB, Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, and as a senior manager working on projects and programs.
Amazing. That's really amazing, Kalyan. We're really honored to have speak with you. I must say that we have a very talented alumni. So great. Thank you for sharing your professional background. Now let's come to your pre-onboarding process, right? So
Okay.
how was your pre-upgrad journey? Tell us a little about your enrollment process, your admission counselor, and why did you choose this particular program and your excitement overall?
Understood. So in 2020, I completed my LLB. right? So to give you context, so 2016 I started pursuing my 3-year LLB degree from Mumbai University, and I have completed it in 2020. From 2020 to 2021, during those COVID times, you know how painful the time was, right? So it was all through the negative energy spread across. So I just wanted to, because what gives me energy and what keeps me moving is, when I keep my learning phase going, it adds the positiveness or positive energy into the growth journey. So that's where I wanted to pursue a master's in law. So when I wanted to pursue masters in law, I have done enough research. I thought of doing it offline, and during those COVID times, offline market is nowhere accessible, and like most of the companies also tend to give blended learning programs, right? Where upgrad being the pioneer in it already, right? So I went through the website and I have searched the kind of courses that upgrad is providing. So I have searched. Actually, I have took out two options. One, 1 year post graduation from a law school in London, and one more is from OP Jindal. So these are the two blended learning programs that upgrad is providing. And what actually created that interest to pursue, right, is the course in itself, right? The OP Jindal certificate when corporate and finance, where if I want to go up in the ladder in corporate companies like an academy or any other, so I need to have a degree which resonates with the in energy that the company is aiming to pursue. So that's where I wanted to do it in corporate and finance, because I am interested in mergers and acquisitions, and also further to build my career. So I thought this course would help me out in long term. So that's when I searched it on upgrad, and I received a great mentorship, I would say, like great counseling, I would initially call it, by the counselor from upgrad. So they have given me information and insights onto how what would be the tenure of the course. It's actually is a 1 year course, like longest online course is 1 year. You need to keep your grit with you in order to complete it, right? What happens is, like, your retention rate will be less when you pursue any online program, so you need to keep that moving. So all through my journey, like, the mentors being placed, and the counselor has given me an complete insight on how the program is given. Like, there'll be a live classes on Saturdays and Sundays, and there'll be recorded videos which will be presented, and there'll be roughly around 2 to 3 hours of video content that you need to consume in a week, and every video will have some ITAs or some quiz or some assessments that has to be completed. And after every 2 months or 3 months, there'll be a exams coming up, the term exams for each of the courses. So they have explained me the entire journey, and I liked it. So in fact, this is more convenient for me, because even if I miss out on 1 or 2 weeks, I can still come back and see those videos and get to know what the course is about, and I can always come back to the mentors and seek help from, right? So, and I, in fact, I like the upgrad platform as the tech platform, right? The user experience that the platform provides, and the support system that upgrad provided, so it's fantastic. So then I thought, okay, fine, I have taken just a day to decide, okay, this is the course that I'm going to pursue, and I have paid and joined.
Amazing. Really happy to know that you have had such a great time at upgrad's course. So, moving on to my next question, can you tell me a little about your during upgrad journey? As in, how were the projects? How were the faculty members? How was the curriculum? Did you get to have a good talk with the peers and doubt resolution? So something like that. How has that been handled?
So as I said, like, to be very precise, for the first 3 months I was very motivated. My motivation level is at, say, 1,000% meter, and I tend to complete everything that come, and I used to prioritize uh, my post graduation as P0 and then work on the other tasks. So first 3 months it's like self driven mode, And after 3 months, slowly the actuals or the factuals come into picture, so the job comes into play and responsibilities come into play. So like we tend to deprioritize, so that's where your motive slowly comes down, right? So that's a point where the upgrad mentors help me to understand, right? So understand what are the courses that, like for example, in the first 3 months that we have completed 4 courses out of total 13 courses that we had. So 4 courses are done, and I'm after finishing the term one, I'm very happy. Okay, we are done with the first term, so 3 more terms to go, type of the attitude. So that's when the slag come into picture. So that's when upgrad mentors, after a month I was unable to finish at least one course completely. So that's when upgrad mentors helped me out in order to prioritize, and then help me to restructure my timetable or time schedule in order to help me cope up with whatever backlog that I had. And that was a fabulous journey. So in fact, the professors at OP Jindal helped me out a lot. So I personally had a lot of doubt solving sessions with Mr. Nageshan and Natarajan sir, and like that, like everybody helped me, in the process of journey, when actually the motive and the self drive has seen a decline. And that's where it again, after say next 3 months, I started slowly picking things up. And while I was doing this dissertation as well, right? Dissertation is like submitting your project in the last trimester, for your reference, right? So while submitting dissertation, there are a lot of queries. So every, like, we have had the groups, we have had teams groups, we have had WhatsApp groups for that matter, where the peer communication is happening, where socializing is happening on various platforms. So any question that you have or any doubt that you come up with, it's not always necessary that you need to wait for the appointment of an professor or a mentor. You can just put it in the group and get things done, right? So that's where peer learning or peer what is it, like social culture, which has been developed in a span of say first 1 month, help me out in understanding, okay, what is happening and what are the guidelines to submit dissertation, what are the timelines basically. Because most important point is, like, for any assignment submission is the timeline. So if you miss the timeline, you lost 40% of the marks. So the entire course is like that key. It's not that if you miss a timeline you are lost. If you miss a timeline, your score will decrease. That's the only point. So if you submit within the timeline, whatever is your score, if it is x out of y, you get x out of y. And if you submit in the first deadline to the second deadline, so you get 80% of x, and second deadline to third deadline you get 60% of x, so something like that. So that was interesting. Okay, even if I miss my deadline in some unforeseen circumstances, so I still can submit my assignment and get some percentage of my marks. So that was something which is very interesting feature that I have found.
Okay, great. So, did you have a feeling of going back to the college days, like submitting assignments and all?
Of course, yes. It's like uh, so for me, it's a different scenario, because my learning was in continuation. For example, in 2010, I completed my engineering. I completed my master's in engineering in 12. So 12 to 16 is the 4 year gap which I had. I would say a break in my education journey, right? And from 16 to 20 is my LLB. So again, 21 to 22 is my LLM journey. So I don't have much of a long break in my education or something like that. So it was a continuous flow. So I was an offline student, and then became an online or a blended learning student. So like I was in education field. So for me, it's like I don't feel like I have missed uh, the track of education journey. It is a continuous flow.
You're a continuous learner, lifelong learner.
Yes, yes, kind
Great.
of.
Nice. So, Kalyan, can you highlight that one thing about this LLM course that you personally liked or enjoyed doing?
So one thing, there are many, in fact. Like I can say that every part or every milestone that we achieved in the process of the journey, be it finishing our first course or writing our first assignment, So writing our final dissertation, or submitting final dissertation paper, or attending the final viva voice by the professor. So all these things are various milestones, but one thing that I liked most is the flexibility that is provided all through the journey, right? So the amount of flexibility, the amount of support that I received from both upgrad and op Jindal team is like unmatched. I would say, like, even if I would have attended an offline program, I would not have gotten into a stage where I would receive a lot of support than what I have received over an online blended learning program.
Okay, awesome. And now coming towards the end of your course, as in maybe the end of your course or once you have completed the course. So, what are the skills that you learned and developed, and how are you using those skills in your current job role? So, if
Okay,
you could just explain that.
perfect. So the point is, like, in the current job role, I'm working as a program slash project manager. In the previous company that I worked with, I worked as a product head for law exams category, or legal category, I would say, where this is more or less into helping students who are aspiring to become lawyers, right? So the entire the knowledge of law that I gathered from my LLB or LLM technically helped me in parallel in order to build a career in helping people who are aspiring to become lawyers. And secondly, the concepts like mergers and acquisitions, as I said, like, I have overseen as a program manager, I have overseen mergers of two or three companies with an academy. So where in order to draft a contract, so even in the current role, I am working with multiple stakeholders, including vendors. So in order to draft a contract, in order to oversee various labor related or corporate related framework, right? So these things help me, or the course helped me to create an insight onto what are the uh, better ways of looking at a particular contract, or particular uh, an insight, or creating an insight onto drafting a legal document. So basically, this helped me a big way in order to see things in a different with a different eye.
Okay. That's great, great. And if you had to highlight an outcome that you received after doing this course, as in it could be a hike or a transition, or you gained a lot more confidence, or gained any technical skills or soft skills. So, which one would you like to highlight the most?
Okay, so there are three things. One, at a personal level, I feel like I feel more knowledge equipped, right? So like, I know that, okay, I know these things. Like, if I know X amount of things now I know X plus 5, right? So the knowledge base has improved at a personal level. And at a corporate level, if you see, like, earlier my knowledge into the legal aspects or legal domain is very much limited, where I can put them into practice. But right now, if you ask me, I am parallelly working with multiple stakeholders for creating or drafting the contracts, or initiating mergers and acquisitions, right? So that way, like, I'm putting my whatever things that I have learned in the course into practice. And more importantly, for the subjects like financial stability and all of that, I'm of course implementing them both in corporate work life as well as in personal life. So these are the things that basically I can state. And with respect to the amount of like financial benefit that I got, is like, I have moved from one role to a different role, and that has given me a decent amount of improvement in my financial status.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing those insights. I'm sure whoever is listening will be motivated. But one last thing, if you had to give one advice to a potential learner or the audience that is watching us right now, what would it be? And what do you have to say to them?
Okay, so basically, don't get afraid thinking that, oh my god, 1 year course, and that too online course or a blended learning program, will we be able to continue it, or will we have to discontinue, or will we be able to keep up that grit all through the journey? Because pursuing a course online for a month or 2 or 3 is easier, but pursuing a course which is an year long or in more than a year long program requires a lot of grit and commitment, right? And if you feel that you don't possess, or if you are back, if you're going back because of the feel that you may not be able to be associated with yourself or give the amount of time to the course, right? If you're taking your decision back based upon the duration, don't worry about it. So upgrad team is always there, and they'll help you out to get you motivated. And there are mentors who are being allocated to each of the learners, and they'll take good care of you to get motivated and then continue the journey.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I just have one last question for you. So, लोगों में अक्सर ऐसी झिझक होती है कि LLM they don't usually go for online degrees or courses. तो आपने ये कैसे चुना, and how did you gain faith in online education with this LLM course?
ओके, सो ये नॉर्मल ही चीज है कि ऑनलाइन में कोई भी डिग्री लेने के लिए पीपल tend to think twice, right? But my belief in online learning system developed after looking at upgrad platform. So the way that the learner experience or the user interface that upgrad has, right? So I have gone through the platform, I have seen the basic videos and how the platform works. So there was in fact there was an interaction session for us in order to use how to use and how to use the platform, where to identify what, where will your lessons be stored, where you need to submit your assessments, and how do you submit your assessments or assignments. So these are the things which helped me to develop that uh, the trust, I would say. uh, so in order to pursue an online program, and especially for LLM. So uh, for LLB I understand, but for LLM, what is more important is to build on the basics that you have learned in LLB. So choosing the right course, or choosing the right specialization from which you need to which you want to pursue your masters from. After that, it's all about learning from the professors, whether the mode of delivery from offline and online is a bit different, right? There you will be able to see the physical presence of a professor. Here they'll deliver the live lectures, and even while delivering live lectures, the chat support is always there. So whenever you have a query, you can put it in the chat, and then professor used to respond. All the professors were in fact very helpful. So I did not feel much of a difference between reaching out to a professor offline versus reaching out to him on a chatbot.
Nice.
So, so in fact, in a live class, you need to wait and you need to take all the notes down, and
Yeah.
then you need to highlight the doubts, and you need to reach to your professor offline post the session. Here, you don't need to do that. You need to just keep typing and put your questions while the lecture is happening, and the professor will take all your questions to the flag end of the course or flag end of the class.
Nice.
So that way,
Amazing.
I felt it comfortable.
Great. So, Kalyan, we are at the end of the live session. So, I'd like to first thank you for joining us today and sharing your incredible experience with the viewers and us. We are really thrilled and glad that you chose us as your learning partner. And we wish you a very great weekend and all the very best for your future. And yeah, that's it. And for the viewers right now, if you have any questions, any queries, please reach out to us or Kalyan directly. I'm sure that he'll be guiding you with whatever queries you might be having. And thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more alumni testimonials coming your way.
Okay,
Goodbye.
everybody, happy weekend and thank you, and see you all again. Bye.
See you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.